Morning, everybody. Good to see you all. Happy Friday. Nice. All right, so what we're going to get into today is kumbhaka, right? So a breath retention technique. It's very simple. Inhale, hold your breath. Exhale, hold your breath. But we're going to approach it under the context or influence of a few philosophies. And so purification is a huge part of the yogic process. And this is tethered to the idea that everything is everything, that the mind is the body and the body is the mind, right? That the intangible, psychological, subjective experience that we know of as, our minds is one and the same with the physical experience we know of as our bodies. And so yogis leverage this oneness and work with the body because it's a bit more approachable and susceptible to our suggestion than the mind, right? If we're scared, if we're authentically scared, it's very hard to become unscared. If we are authentically in love, it's difficult to actually just strip love away at the whim of a thought. But with our body, if we want to hold our breath, we can hold our breath. If we want to move our arms, we can move our arms. If we want to close our eyes, we can close our eyes. Even with functions that are automatic, like yawning and sneezing, we can impose our sentience into these processes, and control automatic functions as well. So we leverage the body to purify the mind. And so the way yogis sort of recognized or measured this purification was through fear and panic, right? The sort of toxicity, the darker emotions, the more difficult thoughts, as they are sort of extracted through the intensity of the exercise. Yogis believed it was very much like lancing a boil and sort of taking the pus out of the mind or out of the psyche. And so the more you stress yourself out in the practice or through the technique, the more purified you will be after the fact, right? So this is a little motivation to get you to participate deeply as you want or can. The second bit is just sort of a theme that I find interesting that's sprouted up this week during the mini conversations in privates. And it's this concept of focus and distraction, and we're tethering it to complicate these ideas. I want you to consider that when you are distracted, in any sense, but specifically in regards to meditation, that is an act of selfishness. All right, and then how can this be so? In general, when we're thinking, and not in action, we're just sort of ruminating and contemplating and remembering. What we're often thinking about, if you look at it honestly, is ourselves, and we're either elevating our sense of self, boosting up our identity, hyping ourselves up, or we're diminishing our sense of selves because we think we're less than, we think others are better than us, we think we're unworthy. On and on it goes. But if you really analyze your thoughts when you're distracted and just sort of in the stream of consciousness, it is entirely centered around your identity, okay? And with that, just a caveat, even when you are thinking noble thoughts, I think Richard Dawkins has a book called The Selfish Gene. I have not read it, but I imagine what it speaks to is this philosophical conundrum that even when we're doing selfless things or thinking selfless thoughts like, I hope my family is happy, I hope you all are happy, that I think those thoughts, I extend that goodwill because we are tethered and your pain is my pain. So I wish your happiness, for your happiness, to sort of satiate my happiness or sorrow, right? If you're hurt, I'm hurt. I want you to be good so I can be good. I was also talking to another student who's doing all this beautiful stuff in regards to India and what's going on in India with the COVID situation, and she's organizing this fundraiser. And even that, contemplating or ruminating that, being distracted by that noble cause, if we approach the thought skeptically, when we announce that we're involved in a fundraiser to support people in people in distress, we look good, right? It looks good. We are respected in the eyes of the community. And in that, even the most selfless gestures, there is a seed of self-centeredness, right? And so we just acknowledge that. And so therefore, even the most noble, distracted thoughts are selfish in some capacity. And so what this means is that focus is selfless. Because when you really focus on something in action, in real time, in this moment, you are giving all of your vital energy and psychological energy to this object or activity or person. And when you do that, it's very easy to observe that that thing is enlivened. If I listen to you, you are enlivened. You all listen to me, and in this moment, enliven me. If I give my conscientiousness to my breath, I enliven my breath. If I give conscientiousness to a song, the song becomes more rich and more meaningful, right? So your focus is an act of selflessness. Your focus is a noble gesture. Cool. So we have kumbhaka, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, as intensely as you can. You're purifying yourself psychologically by leveraging the body, stressing yourself out to extract those fears and those subconscious reactions from the nervous system and tissue. And you should feel relief after the exercise. And then throughout the exercise, it's like stay focused. Give your attention to kumbhaka and give birth to this technique. Give birth to this experience instead of hesitating and thinking about yourself and what you could be or could do. Okay, here we go. Wrists on knees. Hips tilt forward, very tall spine. Eyes are closed. Relax your shoulders down your back. And for a moment, really work with symmetry. Are you even from left to right? Hips tilt forward one more time. Attempt to engage the abdomen to lift your rib cage higher. So this takes energy, but it will also create a little bit of space and structure for the breath to breathe more deeply. Okay, the first 3 minutes, before any techniques, before any ambition, I just want you to feel your body and systematically release tensions in the face, in the shoulders, in the torso, in the limbs. Just release tension. Leverage the body to manipulate the mind. Unconscious and or chronic tension in our muscles, directed through our nerves, stemming from our brain, existent in the mind. As you release the pocket of tension, try to observe a bubble of mental quiet. And consider openly that the release of that physical stress is the dissolving of subconscious stress. Observe that in your experience. Distraction is selfish. focus is selfless. Give your attention to the instruction. Give your attention to your practice right now. Give it life, and then give it more life. Release tension. Give birth to mental quiet. Softer. Even this simple exercise, a very basic meditative process, reveals the aspect of purification. If there is impatience, if there is the mote of dissatisfaction or an eagerness for outcomes, this suggests that there is dissatisfaction, desire, and rejection in the mind somewhere. And that dissatisfaction, craving for what isn't here right now, and the rejection of what is happening right now, disrupts your experience of reality. And so as a yogi, as a meditator, you are motivated to remove yourself from the equation to see life in a more expansive and authentic way. Because you understand the mind is a filter. The mind is a prism that distorts. There is a great curiosity to see life without our own distortions. So again, release the tension in the body, notice the mental quiet, and understand that in the context of this journey, clearer and clearer and clearer. Now to extract these impurities, to extract these tendencies that limit us, that narrow our field of awareness, and distort life into good and bad. Kumbhaka. Inhale, hold your breath for as long as you possibly can. Exhale, and again hold your breath with nothing in your lungs for as long as you can. This bottom exhale, after this bottom retention, after you've exhaled and there's nothing in you, is arduous, panic-inducing, stressful, but it's also enlivening and focusing. Consider that bottom retention with empty lungs to be the peak of your technique and the time to truly focus, the time to truly be selfless. Okay, about 12 minutes here. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. The value of this session depends on maximum intensity. Hold your breath until you turn blue. Hold your breath until your lungs starve, until the muscles around your ribs convulse and seize, attempting to force a breath. Feel the conflict between instinct and willpower. And enjoy the tug of war. Despite the sensations, enjoy the act of will. Hold. Relax. Hold. Relax. Focus. Give life to this technique. Give life to yoga. Give life to this process. Hold. Hold. Relax. Notice fear. Notice the drought of faith that you're okay. Keep holding. A meditator is someone curious of nobility and dignity and virtue. A meditator is curious of internal balance, integrity, and goodness. Distraction in this context is selfish. Because you strip life from the technique. You strip life from your practice to only think of yourself. Refocus. Sacrifice yourself for your practice and then become empowered. Notice an abundance of hesitation or reservation. Even if you're participating completely, there's the thought of withdrawing, the thought of running away. The philosophy is, the challenge of this exercise is extracting these tendencies from the mind and body, bringing them to the surface so that they can evaporate into an ether. So the more you challenge yourself, the more you will be rewarded. The more you sacrifice yourself, the more selfless you are, the more peace, the more wholeness you will experience. Experiment. Last couple minutes, maybe 2-3 more rounds. Push it. Turn blue. Hear the lungs panic. Feel the instinct of the body attempt to regain control. Push, push, push. Hold. Just keep holding. Relax your body and hold. Okay, wherever you are, do not inhale or exhale for 10, 9, 8, do not breathe, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, focus, 2, 1, breathe normally, perfect stillness. Perfect stillness, release micro tensions in the body, and just observe the blip of mental quiet that comes immediately after releasing the tension. Space in the body is silence in the mind. distraction is selfish because we innately think about ourselves. We elevate our sense of self-worth or diminish our sense of self-worth. Notice that. There's more to give our attention to than the concepts of what we are. Come back to the experience of your body, what you really are, where you really are. Release tension. Notice that mental quiet. Bring your hands to heart center. Test your sentience and increase your sincerity at will. Let down your guard. Let down your walls. Enter timelessness. Philosophy time. You exist in this moment. Young or old, healthy or ill, happy or sad, but you exist. Everything that exists in this moment is a family of presence. We share that. It is a common denominator. And everything that exists in this moment will fade into nothingness. But for right now, we are real. And that is precious and miraculous. And when you feel it, it is moving. This is the mantra aham. I am. A secret sweetness. Feel that aham. With your focus, give life to aham. And out of nowhere, an emotional and mental unfolding, a new flavor within the moment. Thumb knuckles to third eye center, yet another essence to taste. But what am I? What am I really? What am I at my core? In a world that's always changing, in bodies that are always changing, in thoughts that are always changing, what is the most stable feature of my existence? Awareness. Notice that you are aware that you are aware. And without that awareness, the universe would dissolve into black. Appreciate that awareness. You do nothing to create it. It craves nothing. It is unbiased. It just observes the biases and tendencies and experiences of the mind and body. But awareness is neutral and expansive. Yogis believe this is our true form. Like a chick in the egg, the shell of the mind, the shell of the body. Consciousness is the source. This is the mantra aham na. I am not what I think I am. Focus. Release wrists to knees. So the idea now is you've purified your body and your mind in some respect. You've focused yourself in some respect. You've connected to some expansive concepts. And now you should be able to sense the world in a more authentic way. The evidence of this is the ease in which we can be inspired by our circumstance. The ease in which we can bleed gratitude in this moment. And so hear life around you. And in the wind, hear the stars. In your breath, hear rivers. In the white noise of your morning, hear existence itself. And now with the breath in, open your eyes, repeat, I am no longer meditating, and sense that immediate change. Something is different when I open my eyes.